And now for our next news special report.
And now we dive into the explosive legal battle between Gina Carano and Disney. This is more than a lawsuit. It's a clash over free speech and cancel culture. Carano, backed by Elon Musk, is challenging Disney's decision to fire her over so-called controversial social media posts. So stay with us because you don't want to miss our final thought on what this means for the future of expression in Hollywood. Now, folks, before we jump into our special report, let's take a moment to thank our sponsor, National Debt Relief. Just like Gina Carano fighting back against Disney, you can fight back against overwhelming debt. With over $1 trillion in debt, Americans face a heavy financial burden. National Debt Relief helped me create a custom plan to get out of debt with zero upfront fees. They've assisted over 600,000 people since 2009. So visit NoDebtWithGary.com for your free consultation and a custom plan. That's NoDebtWithGary.com. Take control of your financial future today. Now, Gina Carano's legal battle against Disney is heating up, and it's a fight that could redefine the boundaries of free speech in Hollywood. Fired from her role in The Mandalorian over controversial social media posts, Carano has taken her case to court, backed by the titan Elon Musk. Now, the actress is demanding reinstatement and is challenging Disney's justification for her termination. Disney's argument centers on Carano's posts, which they claim were inappropriate and offensive. Yes, some feelings were hurt. They allege that her statements publicly trivialized the Holocaust by comparing the treatment of conservatives to the atrocities faced by Jewish people. Well, Disney insists that they have the right to disassociate their artistic expression from Carano's personal views. Let's take a look at the news as it broke when the lawsuit was filed. Watch.
Gina Carano is suing Disney and Lucasfilm over her being fired from The Mandalorian in 2021. Carano filed a complaint on Tuesday in California federal court for discrimination and wrongful termination and alleges she was fired for voicing right-wing opinions on social media. Elon Musk, who made a promise to foot the legal bill for users who claim they have been discriminated against due to their activity on his platform, is helping fund the suit through X.
Now, in response, Carano's legal team has mounted a vigorous defense. They argue that Disney's actions were discriminatory and that the company treated Carano differently than her male co-stars who express political opinions without facing repercussions. And according to Carano's attorneys, her social media activity did not mention Disney, Star Wars, or The Mandalorian, nor did it aim to impose any message on the company. They contend that the First Amendment does not give Disney the carte blanche authority to terminate her for expressing her personal beliefs. Now, Elon Musk's involvement adds another layer of intrigue to the case. Known for his outspoken views on free speech, Musk's financial backing of Carano highlights the broader implications of this legal battle. It's not just about Carano's job, it's about setting a precedent for how companies handle the personal speech of their employees. And Disney's recent attempt to dismiss the lawsuit was met with a detailed rebuttal from Carano's team. They assert that Carano never disparaged anyone or trivialized the Holocaust. Instead, they claim that Disney is using her conservative views as a pretext for her dismissal. This case is shaping up to be a landmark moment in the ongoing debate over cancel culture and corporate control over employee expression. In a wide-ranging interview with Tucker Carlson last month, Carano opened up about her firing from Disney and the surprising turn of events that followed. Now, Carano, of course, known for her role in The Mandalorian, discussed her personal growth, her faith, and the unexpected support she received from Elon Musk's legal team in her battle against what she believes is an unjust termination. The emotional conversation sheds light on her journey for justice, so let's go to that clip.
In the last 3 years have just grown so much closer and understanding. And so it was actually at that point where I said, I was like, God, all these people are getting justice, and I know I was done so wrong. It was so wrong what happened to me. And I know that there's so much more wrong that happened to so many other people. And so I even felt like, don't be a brat about this, Gina. Like, there's, doctors and lawyers and police officers and nurses. And, this is like awful things are happening all around to everybody. And so I started looking at my justice as, starting over in Montana and being able to see the big sky and just being so grateful for my surroundings. And then finally, it was really interesting when I finally got that out of my heart and truly gave it over to God and was just like, it's yours. If I stay in the desert of work and I never work again in this business, then okay, then I need to learn a different skill. I need to figure out what I'm going to do. And so I had to really let it go. Genuinely let it go. And
which isn't easy.
And a week later, well, yeah, that took years. I tried to pretend like I was there so many times, but to genuinely let that last inch of like, it's going to be okay, and I'm going to give it to you. And a week later, I got an email. From X, and they said that they were some lawyers that were taking up cases that people had possibly been fired for speaking their opinion on X, and they'd like to hear my case.
So they approached you?
Mm-hmm. Over email.
Elon Musk's lawyers just found you.
Yeah. I don't even know.
Said, by the way, we'd like to pay for your case?
Yeah. Well, no, it didn't go like that. It was, first of all, I was like, is this a scam?
Yeah, it sounds like a scam.
Right. And I was like, some sort of scam. So I had my lawyers look into them to make sure, my family lawyer, no, I've never paid a dime to, and he has just, he's actually my brother's or my sister's, husband's, cousin. And here he is just like taking on like my problems just with a smile. And I was like, do you think you can, Will Lemkel, by the way, I love you, Will. He's been such a wonderful person to me. He was just like, these people are legit. These are actually legit lawyers. Get back to them. And so I said, because Will believes in my case. He just knew my personal circumstance was very difficult at the time, and didn't have the money to pay for that.
Yeah.
I needed to put that money into restarting life.
Yes.
And so he's like, call them back, and so or email them back, and I emailed them back immediately, and I was like ready. And Edward Trent, who is at the law firm, just an incredible man. He was like, wow. He was like, we've emailed a lot of people and you got it back to us like pretty fast, And then from there on, in the last, I guess that was before Christmas, and it was, probably in November, I think. We've just been like, I'm sending them everything and I'm telling them my story, and we're having long conversations, and they're listening to everything that happened. And then, I'm sending them emails that transpired between me and Disney and publicists and all the other people. And I'm sending them everything I've got. And they took that to X and Elon and said, we believe in this case, very much so, very much so. And they presented it to X, and then X was like, they had to get the permission from them. So I'm sure X has their lawyers looking through it, because this is a completely different law firm.
Yes. Retained by X.
Yes. So I'm sure X has their own people that are looking at it as well. So there's multiple eyes on this. And then they had to take it to Elon and, brief him on it. And then, they came back and they said, we're taking it on. Let's do this. We're going to write a complaint and we're going to file.
I heard Elon say something, or read some statement where he said, well, anyone whose free speech on X has been used against them,
right,
can have our lawyers look at it. But what do you,
And I responded to that, which I didn't think that anything would ever come of it, but he tweeted that out. And I said, in a quote tweet, I said, well, I think I qualify, or something like that, smiley face. And nothing happened for months, and I was like, okay, well, I didn't expect anything. So, and then when that happened and I got that email, it was like, it's one of those, there's been a couple of those calls in my life, or a couple of those moments in my life, that I've just been like, oh my gosh, like, I get a chance right now. I get a fighting chance to clear my name, to let the world know what happened here, to, the world's come a lot, a long ways in 3 years. A lot of information's come out.
Yes.
So I mean, you shouldn't get fired for being ahead of the curve. You know what I mean? I shouldn't have gotten fired for, talking about lockdowns and masks and encouraging that. I was encouraging conversation. I shouldn't have gotten fired for my supposedly controversial tweets. They were not controversial. They were just having trouble with where I was coming from. I think it's bewildering. Like it's mind blowing what happened.
Well, the implications of this case extend beyond Hollywood. If Carano wins, it could embolden other employees to speak their minds without fear of retribution. It could also force companies to reconsider how they balance their brand image with the personal freedoms of their staff. The courtroom drama between Carano and Disney is a microcosm of a larger cultural conflict, one that pits individual rights against corporate interests. So as the case unfolds, it's clear that both sides are digging in for a long fight. Carano's supporters see her as a champion for free speech, standing up against a powerful corporation that tried to silence her. Disney, on the other hand, maintains that they must protect their brand from what they view as harmful associations. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. It's time for my final thought. This battle between Gina Carano and Disney is more than a legal dispute. It's a pivotal moment for free speech in America. Carano's fight highlights the dangers of cancel culture and the importance of protecting diverse viewpoints. As a republic, we must ensure that individuals can express their beliefs without fear of corporate retaliation. This case will set a precedent for how companies balance brand image with employee rights. It's a fight worth watching, and one that could reshape the landscape of free expression in our country.
Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Now keep up your quest for truth with this next news report. And if you found our channel enlightening, join the millions who agree with you. Tap subscribe. Thank you for watching the Next News Network.